Hi, I'm Mark.
And I'm Terry.
And we're Escaping the Empty Nest.
Welcome back. Today we're going to share the rest of our journey along the Freedom Trail, so if you haven't seen part 1, we'll link to it below, or you can check out our Boston playlist.
To get to the USS Constitution in Bunker Hill, you could take the bus or subway, but the subway stop really doesn't get you all that close to it, so we recommend using the Charlestown Ferry. It departs from the South Long Wharf every 15 to 30 minutes depending on the time of day.
The fee is covered by your MTBA pass, or it's just $3.70 each way. Keep in mind a round trip for the ferry will be a third of the price of just getting an unlimited week-long pass, so unless you're in town for just a day or two, it probably makes more sense to get the unlimited pass.
After a short but scenic ride to the Charlestown Navy Yard, you're dropped off on the other side of the Constitution Museum. We decided to check it out too, hoping we would get some background information on the history of the Constitution before we boarded her.
It was a good museum, but you can tell it was built with school field trips in mind. Even for adults, it did a good job of taking you chronologically through the history of the ship, including why it was built, how it was built, and detailing the reasons it came to be such an American icon.
Interesting fact about the Constitution. Paul Revere himself forged the copper bolts and plating. Contrary to common perception and the nickname Old Ironsides, the copper plating was there to make it easier to clean the hull from barnacles, not to protect it in battle.
Visitors have access to 3 different decks of the Constitution, and the headroom gets reduced every time you climb down to a lower level. In fact, this area of the ship you're seeing here, I didn't even see myself. Terry took this footage because I knew if I stayed on that deck much longer, I was either going to get a major backache or hit my head eventually.
Even though 85 to 90% of the original wood that makes up the ship has been replaced, it was still great seeing a relic of America's past. This wasn't the USA's first warship, but it was one that gave the Navy the world's respect. After 17 years of service, Old Ironsides retired undefeated, with 42 wins in battle and no losses. It was never even badly damaged, but winning at war was easy compared to what would happen to her in the next century.
By 1830, it was falling apart and was condemned, and it would have been destroyed if she had not been saved by a poem by Oliver Wendell Holmes, the father of the future Supreme Court Justice. His famous poem about the ship created an outcry that forced Congress to find the money to save this ship, at least for a while.
In 1881, the Constitution was fitted with a housing section and rendered mostly immobile and given minimal upkeep. By 1905, the ship was in bad shape, and a fundraising effort was falling short. Secretary of the Navy, Charles Bonaparte, yes, Napoleon's grandnephew, suggested dragging it out to sea, using her as a target ship and sinking her. That was the last straw for New England and spurred the fundraising drive that finally pressured Congress into allocating $100,000 to bring her back to her former glory.
Here's a fact that I find fascinating. The USS Constitution is the only actively commissioned warship in the entire U.S. Navy that has ever fired upon and sunk another ship. But from there, it was a short but hilly walk to the Bunker Hill Monument. Across the street is a nice little museum covering the history of the battle and the origins of the architecture of the monument. It's a good museum and worth your time if you're in the area. There's plenty of artifacts going all the way back to the time of the battle, and a great timeline of the process of what it took to get the monument built.
Here's 2 interesting things about Boston's Bunker Hill Monument. First, it's not in Boston, it's in Charlestown, across the river. Second, and even more surprising, it's not on Bunker Hill, it's on Breed's Hill, 700 yards away from Bunker Hill. Colonel William Prescott was ordered to defend Bunker Hill, but instead he set up a dirt fort on Breed's Hill. It's unknown if he made the decision that Breed's was a more important hill to defend, or if he just got the 2 confused.
Another interesting fact is the colonists actually lost the Battle of Bunker Hill. They suffered 400 casualties, but that was compared to 1,000 for the British. British General William Howe lamented that his success had been too dearly bought, and Patriot leader Nathaniel Greene wrote that he wished the colonists could, quote, sell them another hill at the same price.
As for the monument itself, right now it's not open to the public to go up to the top, but if it was, here's what the view would be. Someday you'll be able to see this view for yourself if you can handle the 294 steps to the top. In case you're wondering, this monument predates the plans for the Washington Monument by 25 years, but the Washington Monument is over twice the Bunkers Hill Monument's height.
It was a great day, but by 1 o'clock we had seen everything we wanted to in the area, so we got back on the ferry for the ride back to Boston. We had a rental car to pick up for the next day's adventure, which would also include the JFK Presidential Library and Plymouth Plantation. We hope you enjoyed this trip through history, and if you have, leave us a comment. It really helps out the channel. Please check our playlist for other videos on New England. We're also going to be using that rental car to take us to 4 other New England states on this trip. There's many more videos to come. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.